Oh my goodness, my microphone was literally fell to the ground. Alright, so I'm so excited to show you guys today absolute value equations. I'm gonna show you all of it. Not segments. Watch this video, watch this video. There's just one absolute value video that's not included in this one, which is what it is. It's just the distance between the zero a number has. My trick for you guys today is if you see -5 and they ask you the absolute value, it's always going to be, you keep the number and it's going to be positive. So 5. Same thing if it's a 5. You're not going to make it -5. You're just going to keep the number and leave it positive. So it'd be 5. So it's really not that complicated until we get to equations. So let's start. I love using number 5. I don't know why, but I just do. So if we have absolute value 5d equals 15. First of all, you all need to know that absolute value have two equations. Freaky, but it's true. So let's get to it. Why, you ask? Well, when you substitute in here a number, negative or positive, so if I substitute 5 times 3 or 5 times -3, it's always going to give you the same answer because absolute value creates a positive. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times -3 is -15, but because of the bars, it equals 15. So let's start. How do you write, and. It's always and, because you need both of the solutions. You need two solutions. So how do you write the other equation? Well, you always have to make sure the absolute value is by itself. We'll get to that later. It can't have a number outside. It can't have a number under it like this, like dividing. So now it's alone. It's all by itself, and it's perfect like that. So what do you have to add to the other side? You have to add a negative. -15. This is called a positive. This is called a negative. If this was -15, the other side, since you have to make it a negative, would become positive. So see how they're both positive and there's a negative? It's actually very simple, and I hope that wasn't too confusing. But there's one equation you're going to leave by itself. So this one, 5d equals 15. And then the other one, you're going to add it a negative to the side that doesn't have the absolute value. And the absolute value always has to be by itself. Hopefully that made some sense. Now, you take off the absolute value bars and you just put the numbers. So 5d equals -15. How do you do now? Well, now you have to isolate the variable. If you don't know how to do that, please watch my Amber's operations video. And then I do it like this because it's just mental. 5 is multiplying by d, so you move it dividing. Because multiplying, the inverse is dividing. So d equals -15 over 5, which equals -3. So now we have one value. We're going to put it here. D equals -3. Now we have to solve this one. So we take off the absolute value bars, and then since 5 is multiplying, it moves dividing. 15 over 5. D equals 3. So see, here are both of our answers. D equals 3. Now, how do we know if we have this correct? If we have it right? You have to substitute the values. You take off the bars and you put it in. So you substitute the values. 5d, now it's going to be 5 times 3. So 5 times 3 equals 15. That's correct. Now, we're going to substitute in here. Sorry, I literally have this. I don't know why I did that with my hands. And then you substitute d, and then it'd be 5 times -3 equals 15. And both of these are correct because -15 does equal -15. No one can argue with that, which means this is correct. And if both of the solutions give you the right thing, like they both make sense, 15 equals 15, if they both make sense, then you have them both right. Now those are really easy ones. Now let's get to a harder level, And this is when there's something outside, like this. Actually no, we're gonna make it a little bit easier. It'll be like this. Now you have a number next to your variable, but it's not multiplying. So what do? Well, you have to make both equations. So now you make a negative equation. And then since the absolute value is still by itself and there's nothing outside it or dividing it, we're just going to add a negative to the 23. And now what do? Well, simple. Now what you're going to do is take away the absolute value bars of both equations and solve. So let's start here. This would be, since 4 is adding, it'll move to the side subtracting. So 23 minus 4. What's 23 minus 4? 23 minus 4 is 19. So S equals 19. Now, we're in the next part. S plus 4 equals 23. Since 4 is adding, then it's going to move subtracting. So it would be negative 23 minus 4. When you have a negative minus negative, negative and negative, you add them. There's an invisible adding symbol, so you do this. When you add negatives, it's always going to give you negative. So S equals 27. And if you're still here with me, if you're still listening to this algebra video, if you guys need help in anything, I'd really love to help. Just comment and I'll make it for you. So now that you have negative 27, you have both answers, 19 and negative 27. Now let's substitute it to make sure you have it right. So 19 plus 4, 23, 23. This is correct. Now, S plus 4, negative 27 plus 4 is negative 23, so negative 23 equals negative 23, and they're both right. And that's it, guys. You guys have gone here with me. That was the simple ones. Now we're going to get to a little bit of a bumpy ride. Now we're going to go to this. You have 2 equals z plus 5. Z times absolute value z plus 5 equals, oh stop, wait, I hit the wrong thing, equals 20. So now absolute value is no longer by itself, and I told you guys it has to be by itself if we want to make both equations that we have to. So you have to move the 2 to the other side. It's multiplying, so it's going to move dividing. So z plus 5, 2 divided by 20 is 10. And now you can make both equations. Z plus 5 equals negative 10. And then now you just solve. You move negative 5 plus 5 to the other side, but since it's adding, it'll go subtracting. So negative 10 minus 5. And then plus 5 would move subtracting. It'd be 10 minus 5. And then that equals z equals 5. And here would be z equals negative 15. And there are your numbers. Z equals 5 and z equals negative 15. Then you would just put the values in. So it would be z plus 5 equals 10. And we had 5, so we put 5 in here. 5 plus 5 equals 10. True. So we have one true equation. And on the other side, we had a negative 15. So we put negative 15 instead of z. Negative 15 plus 5 equals negative 10, which is also true, which means it is correct. So that was too fast, I'm sorry, but now we're really getting to the hard ones. So this one I'm going to go slower, and then this is one of my last examples because you guys have been here for a while already. This one. So, this, pretty hard right there. It is dividing. Guys, what did I tell you? You guys have to leave the absolute value alone before you can make the second equation. How do you do that? Well, this is dividing, so this would have to move multiplying. So negative 3 times negative 15 is 15. 15 equals r minus 7. And now we can make negative 15 r minus 7. And then you would just solve as usual, and then move the 7 to the other side because we have to. So it would go adding 15 plus 7 is 20. Ooh, it's not 22. So 22 equals r. And then here you do negative 15 r minus 7. And it would move adding, so it'd be negative 15 minus plus 7 equals negative 8. And then you would substitute that here. R, it'd be negative 8 minus 7 equals negative 15. That is true. And then 22 we substitute here, so it'd be 22 minus 7. 15 equals 22 minus 7, which is also true, which means this is correct. Now, we're in the last example. Guys, if you're not following, please tell me I'm not doing this clear, because I really feel bad for those who are really trying to understand this. Now we're going to do, you guys basically know the basics. Now we're going to do one last one, which has basically everything in it. Has adding, subtracting, dividing, and then I think you guys should be set for having an A on that absolute value test. Now it is going to be this. Negative 12j absolute value 2 plus 24 equals 48. So what do you do first? I would suggest knowing PEMDAS. If you guys don't know what PEMDAS is, it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division. So that just is like PEMDAS. This is going to help you guys a lot in all of math. My sibling showed it to me. It's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division. Well, in algebra, multiplication is like that. Division, addition, subtraction. So this is the order of things you should do. So first you would divide to leave the absolute value alone. If not, you can't make another equation. Divide 48 with 2, it's 24. 24, and then 24 is adding, so it goes subtracting, so it'd be 0. So 0. This would be 0. And now you want to make another equation. Yeah, of course. You make negative 12g, let me erase this. Negative 12g equals negative 0, but there is no negative 0. Also, even if there was, 0 divided by 12 is 0. So once you have 0 on this side and nothing else, you know that your answer on both of them is going to be 0. So you'll put here 0. And that's it, guys. That's the basics. I really hope you guys understood. And if you guys have any equation that you guys are right now suffering with, I'll make a video for you. And that's it. Have a great day, and please subscribe.